Alright then, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here. It's Zay and Chris, and we're going to review for you the sequel to Rise of the Planet of the Apes. It is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Let's go ahead and get into it in terms of what we liked about it, what we didn't like. Let's get into the rating first, y'all. Come on now. We give it an A. It's come on now. These are the Planet of the Apes movies. We're good fans of these, but it's been about 10 years since the events of the first movie, so no James Franco in this one.
No, they're all dead. James killed everyone.
Yeah, and then the virus is called the simian virus, or the simian virus, and so obviously it makes apes, it makes apes more intelligent, so more and more of them are intelligent, but it ends up killing humans, so they kind of have to go into hiding and whatnot. But yeah, it's been 10 years since this one happened.
Well, it's actually those that just become immune to it, just like Ellie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they basically just become, the ones that are immune are able to go there. Everyone else has died.
Everyone else has died already. And then of course there's more side effects of it, but we'll get into that later because that's a different film. But anyways, let's get into this one. Let's address some of the stuff that I like off the bat with this one. Definitely, I guess since the first movie it started off with like, okay, we're gonna build up the origin of Caesar. This one was like, we're getting straight into it. Like, they get straight into the action. They show you them hunting, which I think is really cool, like Caesar being a leader. And then it shows like the first like real consequence of what was happening, which was it Rocket's son? It's Ash. Yeah, Rocket's son. But then the movie starts off with more of like an actiony approach with them hunting.
I understand how people would fear, right? If I saw a gorilla in the jungle, or actually not even the jungle, that's where they belong, right? If I saw a gorilla, and this is a gorilla, someone bigger than just a monkey.
I mean, these are just apes.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know why now they're not spraying me. They don't have no guns. They look like they're minding their own business,
doing their own thing. That's what they're doing.
And then plus when they first see me, they look like interested in me. So I'm just literally like, I'd be like, I'm just gonna leave now. I'm just gonna leave. No,
but my goodness, let me tell you, we're gonna be ragging on this guy for a while.
Carver. There's always an asshole named Carver. Because that's how it was in Walking Dead.
But Carver, oh my goodness. So yeah, Carver pretty much arrives first, and it's so funny because like you have
trigger happy.
I mean, just absolutely trigger friendly. Like, not even on some, oh wow, these are the first apes we've seen in a long time, let me not disturb them. No, he ends up shooting Ash, and then of course Caesar has to get involved because my guy Caesar's like, oh, you spraying one of my boys.
His son is a cell. Blue eyes.
Blue eyes. Yeah, that's a cell. But we'll get to Blue Eyes later. But yeah, that's when we're introduced to Jason Clarke's character of Malcolm and his crew and how they like pretty much have come across from them. And you can tell from the bat, and I really did like this with Malcolm's character, every other human's kind of like scared of the monkeys. Malcolm doesn't come across that fearful. He's like, okay, I still want to make peace. Like, he has a common sense about it. Like, these aren't just monkeys.
Because
these
are
super monkeys, kind of.
He goes, Caesar was right there. Their leader could have easily killed us.
Exactly. He also
said that, he could have easily killed us, but he didn't. He chose to just tell us, don't come back here. When he easily could have, clearly there's so many of them. And then it was funny whenever he goes, they had told him there was at least 80 apes. And then whenever they come by, they're like, this is way more than 80.
Yeah. And Caesar and this movie, they definitely said, let's get Caesar talking early. Let's get Caesar talking often. He definitely talks in this one. I think the first thing he says to these humans is like, leave now, leave, get away, go, something like that. And I'm telling you, like, there's something, we say this.
But Caesar kept yelling, and I literally, it'll get better. But I'm like, why is Caesar always screaming? Does he not know how to, like, the cadence of his voice?
Yeah, but we were saying this, and we'll address
it was threatening, though.
Well, like I said, it's far more terrifying when he speaks in a normal tone. Like,
I don't think so.
I'm different with this, but like, it to me, when he's yelling like no and like get away, I'm like, okay. It's like, I also think like he's an animal. Like, when I run into animals, like, they would probably yell, or if they do a little bit of like a growl or something, like, it's to stay away. But Caesar's just gonna yell at you, leave. But when Caesar's just like, apes together strong, I'm like, whoa, you're kind of scaring me. Like, you kind of, my nigga, you reading the whole alphabet? Like, what you doing?
And
like,
Maurice
how much do you know?
Still scary.
Yeah, she's. I think Maurice is adorable, but she is.
No, guys, can you imagine that big ass orangutan in the dark? Oh, remember Malcolm's son woke up, Alexander, and then that orangutan was just right outside the tent. I would have died. once again, would have been put on a shirt because...
But yeah, the human element of this film is probably the only... I mean, it's probably the only real takeaway. It wasn't as strong, obviously, as the first one, because the first one's a introduction. But this one is like, they pretty much like, they're running out of power. You know, that it's apocalyptic times. This isn't like where they get to just drive around and like fill up their cars with gas and whatnot. No, like it's a lot of foliage everywhere.
They need electricity.
Exactly, they need electricity. So they realize that the monkeys are kind of have their plant, or where they are.
And the dam, they're going to a dam.
To a dam, they need to bring the electricity back. But Caesar and the crew, they kind of made their home there, which, you know, the reveal of where they lived and how they put it all together. I mean, it's great stuff. I love that you see that they made their own world. You see Maurice being like a school teacher to the little babies.
I think the best thing about it though was showing. It is showing like yin and yang. Like it was showing how horrible humans could be, because you see Koba and how they were calling him such an ugly monkey and all that human work that was going on him and all the experiments they did. But Caesar, you were in a completely different environment where you were loved and you were treated with care. So it's like you look at the humans in a higher regard, because like he had said to Malcolm, you are a good man. But it's like Koba, his hate will end up getting him killed.
And I also feel like it's also because of what they experienced first. Like Koba experienced camaraderie and family with the apes, with the apes. Like that's the first time he was like, "This is my crew. I protect them. They protect me." And he was poked and prodded and stabbed and stitched together. Caesar had, of course, he was still being operated on, but he was cared for by the humans. But let's not take it away. He was still abused by humans too when he was still in that first film. But it wasn't
for a very short amount of time.
And it wasn't by a group of humans. It was just he was abused by apes, which is funny. So you can tell, so you can really see Caesar's leadership coming into here, and his, like you said, yin and yang. You can tell Caesar just wants peace. He does look aggressive in the movie.
He looks angry
all the time. But I always say this, I've been telling Chris whenever we watch the movies, I'm like, it really does look like he's stressed from just trying to like protect everyone. And he just wants everything to be okay. Like, I don't want anybody to come blowing up this place. I don't want my apes to be going out there getting shot up. I want to be able to protect my family, because we are introduced to Caesar's family in this one. You know, his son, Blue Eyes, and then of course his wife and everything, who is a little bit sick in this movie too.
It wasn't necessarily a twist, but whenever Koba ended up shooting Caesar, it was like, damn,
great moment.
Because you're just so full of hate. You're like, I can't deal with him, and like plus. Like, so obviously Koba was introduced to obviously humans in a horrible way, and then on top of that he's like, oh, they're planning to attack us, Caesar. Like, so
essentially Malcolm and his crew, like I said, they need to get to the dam. They end up getting like not attacked by the apes, but they get like thrown into the apes' den. Like, what are you doing here? And then Malcolm pretty much tells him what he needs, and Caesar's like, no. And then Caesar has to show up with the crew, and he tells them like, y'all leave us alone, like that. And he talks to them, and I love that scene, because it's Caesar talking to humans. And even after all these years, the humans are still like terrified by it. Like, oh my god,
they're disgusted.
I can't believe
it's almost like a form of racism. It's just kind of
form
like
of racism.
We'll get
into that one.
No, it's just because they look at them as dirty apes. Like they look at them as you scratch your butts. You guys aren't intelligent.
You throw
and you guys
poo, and when they really don't. When if you saw what they were doing, they're literally, like I said, they're doing school.
They're having their
training,
own community.
They have a whole group. Anyway, let's get to what Chris was talking about. So Caesar, his appreciation for humans, and Maurice brings us up to, you still feel something for humans, you still think about them. Like, Maurice is a good in-between for Caesar. Like, he does question, do you still love them? And of course Caesar would still have some love for humans, because they showed him love first. Like, so he's like, you know what, I'm gonna let them come to our compound and work and do their scientific work to get their
and let them
city
leave.
to be, and let them leave. And that's what he did say.
Also, Caesar knows, if I don't let them do it, they're gonna come back here with force anyway, and he's always trying to conserve the apes anyway.
Yeah, and this is when Koba is introduced as like just the ape-centric, no, these humans have messed us over, they've done all this stuff to us, you're just gonna let them walk in here and do this, they're gonna hurt us, they're gonna mess it all up. And at first,
and then plus Koba also looks at them as they're weak right now.
Exactly.
So it's like, this is the perfect time for us too.
And what happens, great question by Koba, and what are they gonna do when they're done with this, when they have the power? Great question, because what makes you think they're just gonna leave? They're probably gonna come in, double down, and spray us all up and take this place over. But Koba ends up hatching a plan, so while Caesar's letting the humans do the work in there, and Caesar's befriending Malcolm during this time. Like, they are talking, like, you can tell it's like, okay, we're chill, like, we're just buddies. It's nothing too much. Koba's out here kind of investigating with his crew, and he's seen the acting work. Toby Cabell did a damn good job as Koba because his acting is so good in here.
I'm pretty sure, because I was so heavily seen in the trailers.
In the trailer.
Whenever he shoots them. Actually, it's in the trailer. So we already know. But it was good on the writers to not have it happen right away, because like I said, they already showed us in the trailers how he was going to spray them. But it shows us, no, he's going to just like kind of bow his head for a little bit, you know, like kind of go under the radar to see what's going on. He knows how to play his role so that he can get what he actually needs to get done.
Playing his role. That's
yeah. He's like, oh, let me play this dumb ape. They're going to think I'm so fucking stupid. I got out of my cage, you know, I've wandered off. And like those guys were so like the guys that were like and I don't even and guys, it made no sense, because it's just like, why are we just shooting guns? Like, is that what you guys do, just like test out all the guns and just shoot a bus? I
mean, when you're in the apocalypse and you got guns and liquor, I guess you just drink and shoot, right? Because that's what they were doing.
It was just so, like I said, it was just so weird. But then whenever Koba comes back, he comes back, you know, with his crew. That's whenever he once again plays that dumb ape. But then these apes are still smart, and you know that they're still smart. And then he takes your gun, and they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, at least you went out drunk, I guess. At least you went out drunk.
Hey, advice from Chris. Melanin Warriors and the crew, take it. At least you go out drunk. When you're about to go out, make sure you got
and you went out with your homie. You went out with your homie.
You
didn't die alone. You didn't die alone.
Didn't die alone, and you went out drunk. You heard it here. Life advice from us. But great writing, great pacing. I'm glad that they didn't throw it all together. I'm glad that he had to come back and do it the second time so that they got to trust him a little bit more. Now we get back to the part of him. It's such a good moment when Koba shoots him, because it's right at the it's
right when they get their power.
It's like
back.
Everything's doing well.
Yep. And
yeah,
then
like Caesar and the apes are doing well.
The monkeys are doing good. Yeah.
And the humans are doing good too.
Yep.
And it's just Koba comes in, just shoots him, and the only person who sees it is Caesar. But you see a gun left behind, so of course you would think a human did it. And
then plus Koba comes and brings it anyway, and it's like, oh, human did
and
this.
Convinces Blue Eyes.
But Blue Eyes is a great testament, so I wouldn't even say he was necessarily like tricked into being closer to Koba, thinking his dad was no, he was, because his dad had to come and save him. Yeah, he is. But I also see where Blue Eyes was coming from in terms of how he wouldn't trust his dad's judgment, because guess what? I just saw my friend get shot, and you're just like, oh, let them just do whatever they need to do. And it's kind of like, well, why would we do that when they've already shot on us? And then also the dumbass literally brought a gun when you told them don't bring a gun. Then you're trying to your goofy ass is trying to swat at his little son whenever he goes in, like, because he found your issue, he found your gun, because like they were just watching him, like all of them, whenever they were trying to figure out the dam. And then also they saved them whenever the dam blew up and they had to blow the charges.
Oh,
and they were trapped. And once again, Maurice, nightmare fuel,
exactly,
saved them.
But yeah, what was some good? Oh, I love the fight between Caesar and Koba. The first one when they were in the dam and they were fighting, like they first threw hands. And
so you mean when he got beat up?
Pretty much when Koba got back. But Koba had a good point. He was saying like Caesar likes humans more than apes. Yeah. Humans like, oh, you favor these types of people over us, or you favor animals over us. Like, it's still done this way. Like, it still feels like an ape movie, but it's acted so well. So like Koba has a good point. Like, you're letting them do this. That means that you still like them, and you like them more than us because you're putting us in danger, kind of gaslighting. But he's got a point, because he said all this work that they've done.
Because imagine we've already been not dangerous. We haven't been lethal. We could have taken them over at any point in time, and we haven't. But then they come up here and they shoot one of us the moment they see us.
Exactly. Like I said, Carver is such a shitty character, but he stands on his business, because when the humans were allowed to stay near the ape compound and they were kind of having a campfire, he's racist towards apes. Like, it's blatant. He's like, I'm not gonna let these animals, these beasts, like, convince you that they're nice. Like, he's talking shit about them, and the other guys are trying to be like, no. And Malcolm's understanding. He's like, they're smarter than you think you are. He's like, no. He's like, and he really is their Koba. Like, and what do you think they're going to do? You think they're just going to let us go? Like, planting those seeds of
Because like I said, it's yin and yang, because it's just like, no, they're going to come and attack us because they see we need them for help, for electricity. But then also, it's kind of like where, Koba's coming from. Like, they're weak right now. We should take over them because...
Let's attack. Let's not... We've been attacked long enough. Let's do the attacking.
Exactly. Because we can really take over this planet.
Exactly.
We can be smart. We can have our own communities. We don't have to be those caged animals.
Planet of the Apes. Like I said, Planet of the Apes. But...
it's the dawn of them.
Its third act is really where it... I mean,
I don't know. This one might be better than the first one.
This is tough. This is tough. There's some
because
really good moments
I loved
in here.
how Koba acted. Like I said, whenever he was just saying human work, like, you're not... Because if you think about it, if you were one of them, obviously we all want to think we would be Caesar, but at the end of the day, half of us would be Koba.
I don't even think half of us... I think 70 to 80% of motherfuckers would be Koba. Hateful. No, I don't like how you treated me. Look at all these scars I have on me. I'm disfigured.
Yeah.
And
then also the drunks that he killed were calling him, "Oh, you dirty ape, you ugly ape," calling him ugly. But it's like, you guys did this to me.
Easy. So it's just a quick reminder. So like I said, their fight is very well.
And he even knew
warranted.
He was smart enough, Koba, to know, like, hey, I'm locking your niggas up because they're too loyal to you.
And that was another good move. But I think this movie, you know what? The reason why it gets a little bit of an edge over the first one is the first one needed Caesar in it the entire time to make it work. This one didn't have Caesar in it for like 20 minutes and it still worked.
But
Koba and the son.
The problem with Koba, though, that ended up becoming his demise is his hatred toward humans, and anytime you wouldn't do what he said whenever he had told
Rocket, because Rocket's a part of the crew,
because whenever he had told Rocket, you need to kill these humans, he goes, no, this isn't what Caesar would want. Like, why would we just murk these people right here? Like, they haven't done anything to us. And then he throws him over the ledge.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
And then he just looked at him and said, yeah, y'all follow me now.
And then also on top of that, he started, and then once again, you cannot be a ruler that is feared. People think that that's like the main thing that you would want to be, or a leader that needs to be. I don't need to be liked. I need to be feared.
You want to be respected.
But
that's
it's like,
you need to be respected. And Caesar,
so they were all just scared of you now. And then it was just, that's why I said, Dan Koba, you actually could have, but actually no, because you were trying to torment. They were running in the train station and stuff. Like,
but it's the little things. It's like even when they were fighting Caesar and Koba in their big fight, it's little things like Koba not helping an ape out, instead just taking their weapon,
that hatred,
or pushing them a little bit over to the side instead of.
I feel like in his mind he knew Caesar was right, because he goes, if we go and attack them, how many of them will we lose? And they lost so many, all those explosions,
quickly
and then that great shot of them showing, like, Koba literally was looking at his friend. They were all hooting and hollering, just happy that they had took out humans, and they got exploded. And then it's like, all those people you were just celebrating, all those apes you were just celebrating with, now they're dead.
Exactly.
Because of your rule, because of what you wanted to do, because of your hatred. So it's just like, dang, Koba, you fell. And then, like, even at the end, Caesar couldn't help you, because he's just like, look at what you've done. Like, you have to. It's just sad.
And the son was a good in between piece. You're right, of the both of them. He was half with Koba, but half with his dad. And it took him seeing his dad again. Of course, Caesar gets to go home. Well, Caesar is saved and found by, of course,
by humans. I love how no one looked for him. He just fell down, and
exactly.
y'all didn't go try to find give him a burial.
I guess my nigga out.
And then even the son, you didn't go try and find him.
I guess he's out. I guess he's out. But I think that's a great point in it. Is he was saved by Malcolm and them. And they didn't think twice. They said, we got to bring him back. And they brought him back to this specific house that, of course, was the one he grew up in.
Yeah,
we got to see James. We got to see James in the picture and everything. And he got to see his own room. And he got to see himself as a baby.
And that's when he was talking. That's when he was talking the most.
Just so innocent. And that's when he told Malcolm, no, you're a good man, like a good man, just like you. Like, giving Malcolm his praise, like, there are good humans in the world, just like how humans can view the monkeys as there are good apes. Like, now there's some bad ones, you're right. There are some bad apes that do some bad things in here, but there are some good ones as well.
A sell of this movie, though, was kind of the human community, like Gary Oldman, how he played.
Gary Oldman, I'm not gonna lie to you, he was a waste. He kind of felt like
what names are these? Oh my gosh,
a wasted role for a good actor, in my opinion. He just cried over his family with his iPad, and I don't know. It just he kind of felt misplaced. Like Malcolm's the best human actor in the movie, so like everyone's
But
kind
at
of
the end, he did
behind
blow
him.
them charges. He said, "You ain't gonna."
He
He
still
said,
on
"Go ahead and
business.
shoot me. I'm blowing these charges."
That was a good scene though. When Malcolm was waiting, he had to.
He
had
said,
to
"I
make
gotta
sure that,
give Caesar time."
I gotta give Caesar time, and then they're like, "Are you crazy?" And it's a good reflection of Koba and Caesar when they're fighting. Like I said before, it was great. I think that's what did what the movie did well. It showed you the humans being good and bad, and the apes being good and bad, and then of course
showing us that we're all alike.
and of
We're
course my
animals at the end
favorite
of the day.
scene, and of course my favorite scene is even after the charges go off and after Caesar has to kill Koba, and he knows it because he's like, ape doesn't kill ape. I really did love the scene where Caesar put his head towards Malcolm's head and he was like, I'm sorry, I didn't want this war. And that was the ape saying that when we're so used to humans always wanting war. Because come on now, that's what we built on. Everybody been doing that for the beginning of time. War this, war that. We gotta fight for something. God forbid you can't sit at a table and talk the damn problems out with an ape because you're scared that he can talk. Meanwhile, Malcolm's like, thank you, and I understand. That was my favorite scene because you could tell right then Caesar was just like, fuck, it's gonna get uglier, and I'm gonna lose more people because
of what he did.
Exactly, because it's almost like he didn't see how bad it was getting. And then shout out.
And as a leader, he was taking accountability. He said, wow, if I had never saved this ape, maybe this never would have happened. Or maybe if I had got rid of him at the first instance of him saying, like, you know, all his aggression, all his anger towards you guys, whenever he first questioned me, what if I had just taken him out then? What if I had just shunned him away then? Then maybe we wouldn't have this.
But would you be the leader you are, or feel like the leader you are if you made that decision when you made it? And that's good, but you don't know. That's why Caesar, in my opinion, Caesar, he really cemented himself as one of my favorite protagonists, as someone who's just trying to keep peace. Like I said, still great, slightly better than the first one.
Just in terms of the I feel like the monkey story, which clearly, Chris, first of all, the first movie was just about them coming together, whereas this one is kind of showing a contrast, showing a struggle of some sort.
Yeah, which happens in humans too. Like, I think that's the best part of this, is that this really showed you what happened. So this one, the monkeys
went up, humans went down.
Went down, exactly. So I feel like that's what really cemented it. No matter how strong your group is, there's always going to be division. Someone's always going to want to be the leader,
the outsider, or
think so differently that their idea is the best idea. But that's why Caesar's the leader, because y'all have gotten this far because of his thinking. So when you start to divide that and say, oh, because I went through something worse, we have to kill him, Caesar has to be like, no, like I understand.
Because you're thinking of, because like he had told Colby, you're thinking about yourself right now. You're thinking about that hatred, how you want to harm humans. But how many of your friends, your comrades, your lovers, whatever, how many of them are going to have to die for you to achieve that? And it'll never go away because those scars are still there.
And Koba did far more damage to the apes than he did towards humans. If someone could tell him, hey, if you really want to do damage towards humans, you burn down your home. Let's not forget that. You burned down the home.
And he literally burned it down.
He burned it down. He didn't even, and this nigga lied. Oh, look at what they did. He burned it down. And then you locked up other apes that weren't in your system of your morals, because your morals were bad. And then you were trying to force other apes to kill humans in front of apes, like as a display of like dominance and stuff. But then you just killed an ape in front of everybody else, bro.
L take. Why would you not? If I'm gonna murk a nigga, let alone the leader,
hey yo,
and he's the smartest one,
FBI watching,
I need to make sure that he dead.
Hey,
that's why I said that's the only flaw of it. Y'all didn't even y'all were all running y'all were running out into the town. Y'all didn't see Caesar's body. But and that's when Maurice talked and said, "Run, God!" Literally, just take me out. That's so scary. Oh my gosh!
But that was funny. That was the first thing he ever said.
He said, "Run." Yeah, and he sounded so scary.
Hilarious. Like we said, A+. I'm definitely gonna give this another rewatch, like in the next coming month or so.
No, month or so.
Month or so. But yeah, and probably definitely a better looking movie, because there was some beautiful shots. Like I said, when they're on their horses and they're hunting or trying to help the humans in their little like hut in their cave. Like even the long walk that he makes through all the other apes to get to his wife. Mm-hmm. Like I said, it just shows such good community. But it reminds you, like, guys, when we were cavemen, we were doing the same shit. Like, trying to find community, trying to live. There's people who don't believe in what a leader believes, and you just have to, in my opinion, throw the nigga out. He should have threw Koba out when he said, human wood and been like, I'm gonna give you some monkey wood and throw your ass over. That's just me.
Let's not, because he said
wop
ape,
wop
no
wop
kill
wop
ape.
wop. Nah, I'm sorry. Anyway, loved it.